Dance on the beat, on the song. My brother, God can bless any. By power, oh, no be by sense, oh. Nobody special. Should be the God will bless the higher. Some God now lift me higher. Nobody be the same, could have been no higher. You know the tire, and you walk with the two will bring the rubber. They tell me so many no, but I know they cheat on me, oh, and I know they give up me, oh. Oh God, if nobody encourage you, encourage yourself. That's why I said guarantee. Even second could you know, so many they underrate. And they do marry elevate. Baba shame all of them when they hate. My brother, God can bless anybody. Make you no look down on anybody. As you see me so, no be by power, oh. No be by sense, oh. Nobody's special. All right, welcome to all of you, our listeners in Radio Land. This is Talk TV Media Network. It's the first of the month, December 2021. Our controls today is Sam Gadu, and it's a very, very special guest and a brother of mine who's with me today to talk nothing but business. Today is Talk TV Media Network Business Show. With no further delay, I'm going to bring the guest in. Remember, we will have the lines open, maybe for 15 minutes at the end of the show, 30 or 15 minutes. It depends how the conversation will go. Anyway, to delve into today's program, welcome, brother.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome to the show, and yes. I'm very, very proud to have you here today. Yeah. On the show, Talk TV Media Network, to just have a dialogue, a conversation, about business. Okay. Tell our viewers, our audience, who is this guy?
My name is Dane Boswell. I was born in Jamaica, came to the U.S. for college, went to ORU, studied there, finished, and decided to stay in Tulsa. I'm currently employed with Hilti. It's a global company, and also own my business on the side here in Tulsa. Also, another thing that we do, we're part of a faith family that we started a couple of years ago, where we teach people God's word, how to live based on God's word. So that's what we do. We have a wife and two boys. Almost in college, one in senior in high school. So yeah.
Wow. That's what wow. Yeah. A wife and two boys. Is that all? Are you looking for more?
No. Two is enough. It takes quite a bit to raise healthy kids. So that's what we do. Enough time to take care of our passion and also our family. Yep.
Right. That's a lot right there, and for our listening audience, and I want you to know that I'm very proud to have you, delighted, humble, to say the least, to have you on the show today. And today we are here to talk about business, Talk TV Media Network business. And the biggest question is, why is it that others succeed in business and why others fail? That's the biggest question, because a lot of our viewers and people out there, be it whatever religious background they come from, they want to know. There are so many people that are involved into business, and people want to find out why do people get in business and others succeed and then others get in business and they fail. These are some of the things that we will be talking about today. And for our viewing audience out there, we will let the lines open up probably in about 20 minutes down into the show for you to participate. In the same vein, you can go ahead and send in your questions, your comments down below. Also, don't forget to share the show because we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We all out there. We're broadcasting global right now. So you're a business man, an investor, I would say. What I mean is investor in the sense of properties and stuff like that. Yeah. You work a career, your own full-time job, and then you're doing something. What do you find anything hard or so difficult with working a full-time job and at the same time having a cushion, something on the side, which has to do with diversification, not putting your eggs in one basket. Right. What do you say with regards to that?
I think when you're starting out, I meet a lot of people who want to go into business.
Right.
They want to go into business. And my first question when somebody comes to me and says, I want to go in business, the question is why? And they'll come up with their answer. Yeah, I want to manage my own time. I want to make a lot of money. Blah blah blah. And the other question I ask is, where are you currently employed right now? And most times that's a reflection of how successful they will be going forward.
Right.
Because if you're not able to manage somebody else's goods, if you will, if you're not a good employee, more than likely, it's very difficult to be your own boss and manage a business very successfully. And the reason I say that is that business is an extension of who you are. So wow. if you're a lazy person as an employee, more than likely you will be sloppy doing your own business. So basically the first thing that a person should do is work on themselves,
So you basically touched almost a mouthful right there. Business is an extension of who you are.
Yes.
You're talking about stewardship as well.
Yes, exactly.
Management.
Exactly.
Kind of delve into that a little bit for our viewers.
For instance, when I say it's an extension of who you are, simply means, let's say your personal finance. So you have your business finances, you have personal finance. If you're not good at managing your personal finance, that same discipline or lack thereof will be transferred over in your business. If you're not disciplined in managing your personal time,
right,
chances are that will be extended over into your business life. And that's why I say your personal life is an extension of. And that's why it's very important. If you want to go in business and you're currently an employee, that's an excellent field, if you will, excellent way to develop your skill while you're being paid.
Right.
Meaning whatever you're passionate about doing, you can develop your craft while you're getting paid as an employee and learn all the necessary skills and discipline before you launch out by yourself. And it also teaches patience. You take your time learning. For instance, I'm an employee, and over the years, I've been 20 years with this company. Over the years, I've gone through so many free training.
Wow.
Training that if I'd done it by myself, it would be thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. I've been flown to Europe on training, special training. So these are the things that as an employee, you can glean from an employer, becoming a very good employee.
Right.
You learn all these skills. These skills stays with you.
So the skills you're talking about in terms of sharpening your skills.
Yes.
Does one would say that, do I have to earn a degree? Do I have to go to school to be in business, to become successful in business? I have a different view of that. But I will ask you because you are my guest.
Yes.
And I will let the audience to send in their questions as well. What do you say with regards to someone who's saying, I don't have to graduate, I don't have to go to school to become successful in business, as in the case of a lot of entrepreneurs we have around the globe, as in Facebook owner, he didn't finish and see the platform. There are so many people. What do you have to say with regards to that?
But you notice, let's say Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, even though they didn't finish school or college per se, they have a unique set of skills that differentiates them from the rest of the world. So if somebody come and say, well, I don't need school, I say, okay, fair. What skill do you have to offer? What technical skill or special knowledge do you have that you have to offer the world?
Right.
Because if you don't have a special skill to offer the world, then I'd say go to school. School, basically, all the school is doing is giving you information, sharpening your knowledge, basically pulling out the gifts and talents that's buried in you.
Right.
So the college plus going to school, also you have the wisdom, the knowledge. It also gives you the discipline of following through after 3-4 years of graduating. But if you decide not to take that route, let's say you want to go to trade school, which is fine, or no school at all, but you have to have something to offer. So without school, you have to have something to offer. So yeah, I mean, it depends on, there's some people who are not built, if you will, for college, don't desire college, which is okay. But the question is, what skills do you have to offer the world? Without that, it's going to be difficult to move forward.
So skills, talking about skills, because, I'm from Liberia. We have what they call vocational training.
Yes, exactly.
Which has to do with skills. So technically, it's not like you have to just go sit in a classroom to go through grade 1 all the way to 12th grade. But if you do vocational training, that's part of skills.
Exactly.
That we're shopping you in an area where one wants to move with your life. How do I know that business is good for me, that I should be in business? Because I realize everyone has different giftings.
Yes.
How do I know that I'm supposed to be in business?
One way to tell, there are some people who are totally avert to risk. They don't like risk at all. They like comfort, they like safety, which is okay. That's all okay. It's the way we're built. They like a routine. They don't like to take risks. They're not entrepreneurial in terms of they want to be told what to do. They need a list of things that they do daily, whatever. Those people are good for as an employee. They're not risk takers. Whereas an entrepreneur are people who sees risk not as very dangerous. They see risk as a way to come up with solutions. They see risk as a way of life, if you will.
Right.
They want to come up with solutions. They want to come up with solving problems. So those are the ways that you can tell. And then again, another thing too, there are some people who are not geared towards sitting in an office. For me, sitting in an office, it's great. I sit in the office 8 hours a day.
That's the part I don't like. I don't like sitting in the office. I'm an outdoor kind of guy.
Right.
So I'm hands-on.
Yes, hands-on, which is great. Hands-on, but the way you're built differently than the average person, though.
Right.
The average employee. You're built. You would go out and you see something. You see a problem. Most employers would point the problem out. An entrepreneur would not just identify the problem, but they're looking at it, thinking about what can I do to fix this? How can I solve this? So that's a huge difference between a regular employee who just want a paycheck, ever so often. They want everything to be the same on a routine, whereas an entrepreneur don't mind the the unexpected, if you will.
Why do you think that people get in business and some succeed, some fail? Because that is the biggest question of our day here.
Right.
A lot of our viewers want to find out, why do certain people, some people, or most people get in business? Statistically, we know here in America that if you get in business, the chances of survival within the first 5 years,
Yes,
more than
exactly.
that, you tend to succeed. But people get in and they won't make it. Why? What do you think are some of the reasons?
The main question I would pose to anyone who is so enthused about getting a business, I mentioned earlier, is why. What is your motivation? What is your motivation for getting a business? What's the reason why you want to get in business? And if that question is not answered properly, then even though a person may, come up with an idea and get involved in business, blah, 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 they won't last. One of the most important questions that you have to answer in terms of being a successful business person is, what value are you offering to your customers?
Wow.
And to your community? So basically, the basic element here is value creation. You as a business person, you're creating value for your customers and for the community.
Meaning finding where the problem is and bringing solutions to the table.
Exactly, creating value. But most of the people that want to get in business, especially the ones that are so enthused and rushing into business, they're more concerned about the amount of money they'll make, their so-called freedom.
Right.
Those are important, but not as important as the value you're creating. Because if you're focusing on the money, the profit, obviously, when you're in business, profit is important, because if you don't make money, you'll go under eventually. But that's not the most important thing. Above that is the value that you create. Because if you create value, the money will follow.
Wow.
I'm serious. If you create value for your customers, the money will follow. The other thing too, as an employee, if you're an employee right now and you're thinking of going to business, you have to assess yourself personally. What value am I providing for my employer right now? If I leave the job today, will my employer miss me?
Wow.
You see, and that's a sobering question.
So that has to do with
the value.
Oh, I'm on a job. Some people, they leave and the employer doesn't miss them. They're like, please go. Like kind of stuff.
Yes,
please, I'm so happy that you left.
The employers
that means you are not valuable. You are not an asset.
You're not an asset. You're a liability. Exactly. And when you have those people that are not asset to their company, not adding value, and they want to go in business, and they're rushing, want to go in business, I guarantee you that if they start a business, it will fail eventually, because business is an extension of who you are.
This is an extension of who you are.
Yes,
I guess that's going to be our driving line today.
Yes,
business is an extension of who you are.
So if you,
So you, our listeners out there, welcome to Talk TV Media Network. In studio with me today is Mr. Dan Boswell, a friend, a veteran. In business and in the corporate world. I hate to put him out there, but he's a successful man. He's a blessed man. Let me say that. So tell me this, purpose and business. Money is good, but a lot of people out there have the tendency of running after money and forgetting their purpose.
Yes, exactly.
Help our viewers out there.
When we ask the question, what is your motivation? That basically tying into purpose. What is your motivation for going to business? What's your purpose? What value, what service are you offering? Purpose is very important because in order for you to be successful, you have to have the underlying value system. What is my purpose? What is the purpose of this business? So you have to have purpose personally,
right,
that drives you. You also have a purpose for the business, because the purpose, when you have a purpose for your business, it gives you a framework, it gives you a scope, it gives you, and that, because if you don't have a purpose, as Miles says, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable, meaning that you have to have a purpose, and the purpose is almost like the guardrail, if you will, because once you start getting successful, guess what? There are many opportunities will come by. And if you don't have a purpose, you will decide on venturing in so many different things. And you know, as the old proverb says, if you chase after two rabbits, what will happen? You will lose them both. So purpose help you to refine your focus, if you will. Offering purpose allow you to refine that focus. You're offering what am I giving to my customer? What value am I giving? What solution am I offering? And it helps you to be clear in terms of what you want to offer your customers and the community. Because if not, you basically will lose eventually. You will lose eventually.
What purpose is so key, as he just mentioned to our listeners out there. What do you have to say to parents who have the awesome responsibility of raising children, and some of them go in different careers of life? Especially, I would tell you this: I came from a strong Christian background, but majority of my family members in the medical field. Right? Nurses, they do all of that stuff. And believe me or not, they wanted me to be in the medical field. Everybody was trying to push me into the medical field, down to my parents. You know, what do you have to say to that child, to that parent who has that awesome responsibility? As in, how can that child find their destiny, their purpose?
The Bible says, raise up a child in the way they should go. Okay. One of the things as parents, it's a very challenging task. Because what you want to do, you want to encourage your child or children in the natural path that they should take. All of us are born with giftings, talents, certain dreams in our heart that's placed there by our Creator.
Yeah.
And what we want to do as parents, we want to encourage the kids in that way. So basically, I have two sons, and they're so different, as you know them. They're so different. And my challenge now is to watch them as I pray for them. I watch and see what's their natural inclination, what's their passion, if you will. Because if you're doing something that you're passionate about, you'll be successful eventually. You'll have the drive to do it.
Right.
You'll have the stamina to do it.
Meaning money or no money, you still have that.
You'll have the endurance. Exactly. So, and that's why I said, don't focus on the money.
So money becomes a secondary thing.
Money will follow the value that you create. You will create value if you have a passion to do this thing. You know, for instance, going to school or going to a trade school or just hitting the pavement with being an apprenticeship or whatever, it will require time. It will require your time. It will require discipline on your part.
Right.
Well, if you have a passion, it's no longer a drudgery or pain to do those things, because that's something that you love doing. And that's why we have to encourage our kids, help them to find their passion. What are they passionate about? And whatever they're passionate about, you encourage them in that way, and they'll be successful. And that's the way you do it as parents. You pray for them, you find out what they're passionate about, right, and encourage, basically, with all your resources, help them develop those natural skills, talent, and passion. Those things will
helping your children develop skills. I feel like I almost, had the same mindset like my parents did. I felt like all my boys, they all need to be in business.
Right? I know.
So, but learning being around the right people is very key in education every day.
Yes.
Teaching yourself. Funding business. You know, this is an hour show. I probably may not even take a break because we're not going to serve this topic justice today. So we want to talk about funding. A lot of people out there, want to get into business, but how do I start? How do I get, funding? I need money to start a business. What do you have to say with regards to that?
If you have a job and if you're truly passionate about this business that you want to start, then you'll basically discipline yourself and save your money. So if you want to go involved in a business, first you do the research. How much money would it take to start? Well, you have a current job. You budget, you manage your cash flow well, and you save that money, right? Mm-hmm. You save as much money as possible to show that, because a lot of times too, if some business, you may approach a bank. Well, the bank is going to also think about how much skin do you have in this game,
right?
You want, let's say, $10,000 from them, and you don't have anything saved. Why should they lend you this money or offer you a loan or whatever if you have nothing saved? You don't show that you're passionate. You don't show the discipline necessary. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I would say, if you're serious about going to business, you should be able to manage your cash well, because your life is an extension. Uh-huh. So if you're not able to manage your personal finance well, guarantee your business finance will not be managed well as well. So another thing another way to put this is that what you mismanage, you will lose. What you mismanage, you will lose. So if you're not disciplined enough to manage your personal finances well, you will end up losing. Mm-hmm. You will end up not having savings, not having enough money set aside to invest in the business that you're thinking about doing. So that's one of the things I would say. If you're serious about going involved in business, if you go to a bank or you go to a venture capitalist, means that there are people out there whose offer to businesses is to invest with them. They provide, they pump the cash into your business. And those are venture capitalists. Well, you have to prove to them that you have as much skin in the game, meaning you have enough capital to put down for yourself,
right,
for them to come alongside you. That shows discipline. That shows that you're serious. Because if you don't have any skin in the game,
so you
no risk. You have nothing to risk.
You are simply telling the layman down there, you want to get in business, find a job.
Oh yeah.
Show yourself accountable. Have a blueprint.
Yes.
Don't just run to the bank to go get money. Save something.
Yes. Exactly.
What do you have to say with people who talked about OPM? You've heard that. Other people's money.
Yeah.
There are some people I know that have been successful with OPM. Using other people's money. Getting loans and borrowing money and going to the banks and stuff. I've heard preachers talked about OPM. That is another way of being smart. I've heard others say, start with what you have.
Yes.
That's awesome. How can you help our listening audience with those two?
The rule of thumb is stay away from debt as much as you can. That's a rule of thumb. One of the things when you hear people want to go in business, and they're talking about OPM, they have no money saved. They want to use other people's money, not their money. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how serious are you? If you want to use other people's money and not your own, if I'm a venture capitalist, I'm not investing with you. You have nothing to lose. You have to show and prove that you have something to lose. You have to show and prove that you're disciplined enough to manage your own money. It's easy for somebody to say, oh yeah, Sam, I'm going to business. Can you fund it 100%? I mean, seriously, but there are people with that mentality, or use other people's money, but what about your own money? Right. So it depends on the type of business that you want to go get involved with. There's some business that is capital intensive, meaning that it's going to require a lot of money to get started. Those businesses, obviously, if you're going to save, it's going to take a while. So you have to manage that. For most people that are getting involved in small businesses, it's not that much money to get started. And you can start small. In fact, if you avoid the debt, chances are you'll be able to start very small with the money that you've saved up. Okay? And that's one way you can avoid going to the bank, using so-called other people's money. You can basically save your money and start very small. But the average person don't want to start small. They want to start
the average person don't want to start small. Yeah. To our listening audience out there, today is a very fascinating show on Talk TV Media Network. Today we are talking business. We are opening the lines. We are 30 minutes into the show. It's an hour show. The number is on the screen right now. I'm going to put the number on the screen. So we'll give you the chance to participate and call in, those of you who are with us. You can call in the number of the show on the screen right now. The number is 539-525-1552. And those of you in Liberia, you can call the number 231-777-662949. As my studio guest, whatever question you may want to know about. So we have the lines open for you. We are broadcasting here in Green Country, Oklahoma, Tulsa, to be more specific. And my studio guest is Dan Boswell. He's a father, a husband, a corporate worker, and an investor as well. So he's doing multiple things. More or less, you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
That's what I see from knowing you, because you are skillful in all diverse areas. You bring solutions to the table.
Yes.
With business, looking at business, why do you think others fail? People fail. Because we've been talking about the successes of business, the ways to get into business. Why most people fail in business? And even the 5-year statistic that you talked about, some people go beyond that and they go bankrupt. And they're broke, nothing.
Yeah, you know. There's some businesses fail because they started out small, and within a very short time, they try to expand too quickly, and they fail. One of the things that in terms of successful business, you have to be disciplined as an individual. You have to discipline your life, your assignment, your work. You have to be disciplined. That's why I said, go back to as an employee, those are the same skill that you use that you basically transfer into a successful business. The other thing is we need to be able to, business fail because they don't prioritize their focus. You know, they need to prioritize, clarify what's the most important activity and spend time doing that.
Right.
And the same thing as an employee. That's the thing. The same skill that you use as an employee, you'll use as a business owner. You prioritize the activity. Like right now, I have a list of things to do. I list them and I prioritize them. The priority, there are things that are more important. So I put those on the top.
Right.
If you don't prioritize, you end up at the end of the day. Have you ever gotten to a point where at the end of the day, you're like, wow, I've done so much, but even though you've worked so hard, 8-10 hours a day, you don't feel like you accomplish anything. Chances are, if that happens to you, chances are you did not prioritize properly. You end up spending time on busy work. You end up spending time doing things that are not as important.
And busy always is not just progress.
That's right, exactly. And that's why you have to prioritize based on your purpose. So you have your list of things. This I can put aside, this is important. And that's why focus, prioritization of your focus, it has to be, you have to have your list and what's important here. And what's important, you spend time on those things.
But what do you do with distractions though, along the way? How do you cope with that, distractions, as a business owner, running entrepreneur, running your business, and there's so many impediments along the way and distractions that will impede you from, getting to where you need to go.
Right. The other thing you have to realize, time is a commodity that's priceless, right? Your time is priceless to a certain extent. You have to manage your own time, meaning that, for instance, this is a good example. The company I work for, we have 3 what we call strategic locations, one in Europe, one in the US here in Tulsa, and the other in Malaysia. And because of that, we basically work 24 hours. We have coverage 24 hours of the day.
Right.
I have teammates that's in Malaysia right now, which is a 14-hour difference than I have, right? I have in Europe, 7-hour difference. Well, I have to collaborate with them, right? What I do is I manage my own time, means on my calendar from 5:30 to about 7, I block that off. My calendar, my personal calendar, I block it off, which means nobody can put a meeting, can put anything on my calendar to impede on my personal time. As an employee, as a business owner, you do the same thing. You block off your calendar, meaning you have a list, and we're talking about
the things that matter to you.
Oh, the things that matter to you, your business, the purpose that you have for your business, you block your time off. So, and you shut your phone down if necessary. Yeah, to get those things. That's what we're talking about, discipline. You have to manage your time. You cannot let somebody else manage your time for you. No.
Right.
You have to take full responsibility for your time and manage your time, which simply means you may have to block those times off. I block my calendar off because 5:30 to 7, I have certain things I do every day for my own spiritual enrichment, for my own purpose, for the things that's valuable to me.
One of our listeners out there, Deshaun, is asking me to ask you, how did you get started? How did you get started? You graduated, you got into corporate America, and then you started business in something on the side. I guess because we're talking about business, she meant business. How did you get started?
Well,
investing on
the side. First, I started when I graduated from college. I graduated with an information system degree, which means computers and business combined. And when I graduated, I did not get a job in that field. I first went and sold cars as a car salesman.
Wow.
Has nothing to do with information technology. I didn't get a job in my field, but I need to put food on the table. I have rent to pay, right? That was almost 30 years ago. So I went, and because of the entrepreneurial mindset, I believe I could do this. So I went and I sold cars for 6 months. And during that time, I learned certain skills about negotiation and all that during that 6 months. And then after that, I got a job at ORU into my field per se. And then that's where my career started, and the rest is history. The point I'm making here is that even though you may not get the ideal job, I took a job that I know I needed to take because I had bills to pay. So as an entrepreneur, I did not allow the fact that there was no opening in my field to stop me. It wasn't a stumbling block. I just pivot a little bit and got a job selling cars, which actually that skill that I'm using right now in real estate, that same skill of negotiation I use when I work at my last job in negotiating my salary, those are the skills. So wherever you work, you need to be ready to learn. There's always opportunity to learn skills,
What resources could you point our viewers, our listening audience to in terms of business? to read, like some books or audios? What do you have anything that will benefit our audience out there when it comes to starting a business?
Yes, I would say what I do, I don't necessarily read a certain topic. I read after certain authors because I'm more concerned about how these people live and their contribution to the society, to the world, and I read after them. So Miles Monroe is one of those person that I read after. I read after, you have Kiyosaki years and years ago, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that, remember those days, way back when. I read after this gentleman about leadership. His name is Maxwell, John Maxwell. I read after John Maxwell. In terms of business information, you have Dave Ramsey. I read after him because I'm more concerned about a person's life. And T.D. Jakes, he has certain books that I read. I watch their lives first, and based on their lives, I try to read their books. So I don't focus on necessarily the topics. I focus on the author, and based on the way they live, then I read after them.
There's another question on the floor that says from Angela. That says, how I guess she's making a statement, but I'm going to make a question out of it. How do you develop a business plan? She's talking about developing a business plan and having a business coach or a mentor. Elaborate on that a little bit.
Yes. Actually, when you asked the question from Deshaun about how do I get started, I remember I had read quite a bit on real estate for many years, and it was one weekend a uncle of Angela came in town, and I visited with him, and we went out looking at properties, and he talked to me about certain things, what I need to do. Yeah. And he's from California, he went back to California, and it was during that time I got enough courage, if you will, enough inspiration to get started. So yes, mentors are very important. People that you can talk with, people that you can bounce ideas off of, and or coaches, mentors or coaches, people, your peers or whatever that can encourage you, can inspire you. You may have a challenge in a certain situation. This is what my business is facing. What do you think? You can get encouragement, you can get ideas. So I say, if you want to get involved in business, need to find a mentor, somebody that will be willing enough to share. And most entrepreneurs are willing to share. They're willing to share if they have somebody who is eager enough to apply themselves, So yes, I would say yes, get a mentor, get a coach, get somebody that you can follow, you can bounce, you can send an email, you can look, watch their life and learn from. That's also a huge benefit. And in my case, when I get started buying my first house, it was based on the inspiration that I got from a mentor. And I still have in contact with him when we go to California. That's one of the things, we sit down, we talk business, So yes, it's always important to have a mentor and somebody that you can rely on, you can bounce off information off of.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Talk TV Media Network. We are bringing you this business talk show. Today is Wednesday, the first day of December. December is here, the last month of the year. And for those of you who are celebrating your birthdays this month, happy birthday to you all from the CEO himself at Talk TV Media Network. We are going to definitely take a 1-minute break, and we won't be live, but 1-minute break, and we'll come right back for you guys to be able to ask your questions and continue doing the things that we are here to do. Time is always our biggest enemy, and we'll soon be here, out of here. So stay tuned.
No be high, no be tired. You walk with the two with me, you love me. Tell me so many no, but I know they cheat on me, oh. And I know they give up to you. Oh God, if nobody encourage you, encourage yourself. Oh. That's why I said kerosene. Even second for some, you know. So many they on the race. They to marry elevate. Now I see all of them with it. My brother God can bless anybody. Make you no look down on anybody. As you see me so, no be by power, oh. No be by sense, no. Nobody's that. My sense God can bless anybody.
Welcome back to the show, Talk TV Media Network. That was just a little bit of break for you guys. I like to bring you close to, because you and I are international people. I grew up from a very poor country, and businesses are done differently compared to here in the US, where there's limited funding. You know, agriculture, people do all of that to be able to get money to go to school and all of that, selling produce and all of that stuff. How, speak to someone, someone from Liberia, someone in Jamaica, how, as difficult as the terrain may be, you know, how do you help someone who wants to get into business? What do they need to do? Do the same principles you just described apply to that person in a third world country compared to here? Someone would say he's sitting in America and saying all those big terminologies and saying all the big stuff, but you know, this is why we do our Talk TV. We'll bring it down. You know, say something to them.
I mean, we talked initially about creating value. I mean, it seems big terms, whatever, but what that means is that whether you're in America or you're in Jamaica or Liberia or any other parts of the world, every business, be it a Fortune 500 company or a guy on the street with his cart selling ice cream cone or whatever, it's basically the same thing. A guy on the street that's pushing his cart, like in Jamaica, and selling coconut water on the street.
Right.
He is creating value. I'm there as a tourist or another person who is tired, thirsty. You have this guy who is providing a cold, refreshing drink of coconut water. They are creating value. So what I'm saying is that you see a need. There's a lot of people there on the street, busy street, needed to basically refresh themselves. And a guy with his cart with ice and bottled water, selling bottled water, he's actually creating value. Value for the customer. The customer don't need to walk a mile or whatever. He's right there on the street selling their products. So the point is, whether you are in the third world or in the first world, these principles still apply. If you solve problem, the money will follow you. You have to solve problems. So whether you're pushing a cart on the street or you're in a 10-story building, if you're solving problems, creating value for your customers, if the customer perceives, it's not just value that you think you're offering, it's value that's perceived by the customer. If the customer see, oh, wow, I need that. That's important. Oh man, I need to buy that because that's going to solve my problem. The money will follow. And by the way, if it's good enough, they will tell their friends.
Right.
So there you go, a free advertisement. You know, you see what I'm saying? So the principle works the same. Obviously, in third world country, you may not have access to capital the way you are in the first world,
right?
But the principle is the same. You can save a little, right? Or you can bring a partner along with you, pool your money to start the business. These are the things that you can do. You can be creative But the principle itself, the same principle apply. It might be a little bit different or more difficult in one country or another, but the principle remains the same. If you solve problem, don't go after the money, solving problems, then the money will follow.
Solving problems, then the money will follow.
Yes.
Beautiful piece of advice right there from Mr. Boswell. So there you go. Our people back there, back in Liberia, Africa as a whole, Jamaica, the islands. If you are a problem solver,
yes,
money will follow you. Yes. There's a saying that says, don't chase the money, let the money chase you. The beauty of running business is, I would say, controlling your own time.
Yes.
Having a little bit of destiny in your own hand. I would normally term that. To piggyback a little bit before I ask you my next question, I normally tell people this about, the rod in Moses' hand in the Bible. When God asked Moses, what is that in your hand? Yeah. And even though he didn't know the value of what was in his hand, so that kind of translate. I always translate that. And the story of the 5 loaves of bread, when that was all they had.
Yes.
Right. Exactly. There was nothing so much baked there, no food. It's just 5 loaves, fishes. Just 5, whatever it is, limited resources. Nothing. Yes. That's all they had. And then Jesus said, "Bring it to me. Let me multiply it." And we all, those of us who read the Bible, we know what the end result was. So it almost seems like I tell people, bring your resources, bring what you have to the Lord, let him multiply. Comment on that. Even though I'm preaching a little bit.
I know you are. I know you got me started here. That is a powerful story where Jesus actually took a boy's lunch, just a boy's lunch, and feed a multitude of people, 5,000 plus women and children. 5,000 men plus women and children, that could be about 10,000 people. I mean, when you think about it, because they were counting just men in the Bible. But do you notice something? Once Jesus got the limited resources and he blessed that limited resources, Jesus did, he actually gave the resources back to the disciples.
Right.
He broke the bread, gave it back to the disciples, and the disciples took the broken bread and basically handed out to the multitude. So basically, the question is, where did the miracle occur? The miracle occurred, if you read the story carefully, the miracle occurred in the hands of the disciples.
In the doing, the execution.
Exactly. So you have limited resources, you pray, God bless the resources. What do you do now? You need to execute. You need to go.
Beautiful
and do whatever it takes.
So without the execution, don't expect any results.
Because Jesus blessed it and gave it back to them, and they just decide.
He said, "I will bless the work of your hands."
Yes, exactly. So while they were doing it,
blessing is in your hands working.
Yes.
Where you put your hands, there's blessing in it. Exactly. You can't sit and fold your hands and expect manna to fall from heaven.
Lord bless me.
Beautiful piece. For those of y'all listeners out there, we have about 7 minutes to be out of here. The lines are open. You can call in. The number on the screen. Ask our studio guest a question or comments. Those of you who have been commenting on our show, we appreciate it, and we ask you to share so someone else can be blessed. This is what we want you to do. Every week, on Wednesdays at 12 noon, we talk business on this network, and every Friday is when we talk politics. Talk TV Media Network politics. It's all about society change. On Saturday, we talk sports. Those of you who are sport lovers, soccer, basketball, football, be it whatever that we have planned for you. And Sunday is a gospel day. Talk TV Media Network Gospel is when we challenge your mind as well. We bring some religious leaders to give you a perspective. If we can have that, we'll play the best of gospel music for your listening. So follow us, and those times, I keep saying we will post them. You can visit us on our website at www.talktvmedia.com. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, like us, share us, reviews. We highly appreciate it. I want to give you a special thanks for coming today. I know there's a lot to cover, but 1 hour definitely is nothing. So you owe me more time.
No
you need
problem.
to come back.
No problem.
For our listening audience. What do you have to say in your closing remarks out there to our listening audience?
I would say a couple of things. If you are an employee, depends on where you are. If you're an employee, be the best employee for your employer. Take that opportunity to learn. Keep learning. Keep learning. You're getting free training, free information, and you're getting paid to get that free information. And make sure you get that first. And then for those who are embarking on their business opportunity, don't neglect small beginnings. Meaning, don't neglect, start small, learn, because when you start small, your risk of exposure is very small. Start with $1,000.
So even though you're closing, so technically you're advising people to start small as in big.
Mm-hmm.
Start you're small. Advising our listeners as in start small as in starting big. Because chances are when you start big and you don't manage well, you're going to fall.
Yes, exactly. You start small and learn, because you will learn as you go through the process. And while learning, there are lessons that you learn, there are mistakes you'll make, but those were small mistakes.
Right.
It's not detrimental to your entire portfolio. You start small, and as you learn and as you master the skill and develop the discipline within yourself, then you start growing and getting bigger. The Bible says, Genesis 1:28, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and have dominion. 4 things. But you notice the first two. Be fruitful. That's the most important thing. Most people, when they hear that scripture, they're looking at subdue, have dominion. No.
And fruitful. And someone will say being fruitful has to do with giving birth to children.
No, it's more than that. There are gifts and talents that God has deposited in us. And those gifts, we need to take those gifts and multiply those gifts. So first you have to be fruitful personally. Your life is an extension, right? So be fruitful, meaning that you have to be disciplined. There are certain character traits that you need to develop in yourself in order so that when you start to multiply, you basically don't multiply dysfunction.
Wow, say that again. You said be fruitful, multiply.
Yes. Replenish, and subdue. 4 things.
Meaning dominion, control, take over.
But most people are focusing on the take control.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Because that's where the comfort is, the power is. I'm in charge.
No, but that's the wrong motive, though. You don't go into business to control. No. You go in business to be fruitful. Adding value, that's coming back to the same thing.
Beautiful.
Adding value. So yes, you have to be fruitful. And that's personally first, because you can't manage other people and manage a business if you can't manage your life. So you've got to start with your life, managing your life, managing your time, managing your personal money and all that. And once you're good at that, then now you start multiplying. But I would say start small. Don't neglect small beginnings. Start small and learn as you go. And as you go, as you being faithful, as you're faithful over a little, because what you mismanage, you'll lose. What you manage well, you'll get more of.
What you mismanage,
you will lose. You will lose it.
What you manage well,
you'll get more.
Multiplies.
Yes. And that is in every area of your life. So I'm married. If I mismanage my relationship with my wife, what do you think will happen? I'll eventually have problems.
Wow.
So basically, it's not just your money. Your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with other people, you have to manage those
With
well.
your children.
Yes, your father-son relationship with your kids. Yes, you have to manage those. It's all about stewardship. We don't own things. We're stewards. Because you know what? When we die, guess
Leave
what?
them all here.
We'll leave them all here.
Everything
So
that we're fighting for.
Exactly. And that's why purpose is important. You focus, you start small. All that is important.
Man, I need to bring you back, man.
Yeah.
I need to bring you back. I need to. It looks to me that you just now getting fired up. You just now beginning, man. But time is always our biggest enemy here in the show business. And to your listeners out there, thank you so much for watching, being a part of the show today. If you like it, you enjoy it, share it. Let someone get blessed out there on social media, on your various platforms. It's been a 1 hour show with Brother Dan Boswell. Thanks for coming, man.
No problem.
I highly appreciate it.
Anytime.
I will make sure I coordinate with you. I know it's not just me alone, but I think our listening audience wants to hear from you more. So we'll find time. Merry Christmas to you.
Okay, you too. We'll see you after Christmas, right?
All right, Merry Christmas to you all, our listening audience. Be blessed and stay safe out there. Find the right mentor. Find the right people, the right environment. Plug yourself in. Be a good manager of your own time.
Yes.
Until then, I'll see you next week. Thank you.